I'm Takun, this is Radical Red Hardcore Mode, and these are cat Pokemon. During this run, I will only be using felines to unleash the greatest cat attack that Kanto has ever seen. Let's get into it. Last video, we just beat Misty and raised the level cap to 36, which is going to allow me to evolve Grasscat into Meowscarada and Thundercat into Luxray. While this is cool and everything, it's a double-edged sword because now pretty much every Pokemon I have is either normal or dark type, meaning that fighting attacks are the bane of my existence. Fighting type coverage is everywhere in Radical Red, and my cats are afraid of hands and feet, which is weird because cats definitely win that matchup in real life. So the first thing I want to do is get more cats, preferably something that can take some hits from fighting attacks. But first, I have to beat this Rocket Grunt dude, get the Dig TM, and a care package. After that, I grab the Bulldoze TM and challenge this dude to a Hisuian battle. When I win, I get myself an Eevee. I feed that Eevee its own body weight in Pomeg berries, which basically makes us besties, teach it a fairy move, and leveling it up turns it into a Sylveon. The next cat I decide to go for is kind of a pain to get. I'm going to talk to the Wonder Egg Lady in Cerulean and soft reset until I get a Litten. So yeah, this will probably take a while.
3 hours later.
Alright guys, I finally got the Litten. It only took me 3,000 years. I turned that bad boy into Incineroar, and now I'm ready to get that SS Sand ticket and start my next boss fight. Alright, so Bugsy here is from Johto, and these are Kanto streets, so we know we don't like his kind around here. We gotta send him packing. He starts off with Cleavor. I go for the Fake Out with the Barkeep, and the Iron Head is going to get rid of him, but he does set up those Stealth Rocks with the Stone Axe. And, a little unfair. That wasn't a bug, that was a rock. And now we have Scizor, and I go into Lionheart here. And even with the rain, the fire damage is still going to be a decent amount here from the, the Flame Burst. And it's not too much, but it does knock it down to a little above half. And now I'm staring at this pair of scissors, and I'm like, hey, let's go Thundercat. Let's go get that Intimidate, weaken its attack a little bit, go for this Fire Fang. And it's not enough to kill, because of course, it's raining, and we have to do this fight, and his only weakness is fire. But I am faster, I go for another Fire Fang. Thundercat does get that kill. And now we got to put up with the low kicks, and I already know this thing's going to be doing the first impression. The only thing I can really do here is Doll Eyes, but he actually goes for the knockoff. But Doll Eyes was still good. I wasn't going to live anyways, and I definitely want to decrease this guy's attack as much as possible. And then I go into Das Right. And guess what? That's right, another Fake Out, catching these paws. He flinches, can't handle it. And I put Aerial Ace on this specifically for this fight. He knocks off my sharp beak and says, hey man, you're not a bird, you're actually a cat. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. So anyways, he goes into Vikavolt, and now I get that free Aerial Ace, but I can't Fake Out, can't do my usual shenanigans. I go into Fat Cat thinking it can take a hit, and it sure as hell does. Eats the Signal Beam pretty well, gets that delicious citrus berry, and I'm in pretty good shape. So I go for the Body Slam here, and I'm kind of hoping to paralyze this thing, and I don't. And then he goes and just Signal Beams. And now I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna stall this guy out. I'm just gonna keep hitting that slack off. This cat is fat. It can take hits from this thing all day as long as I just slack off and heal. So that's kind of the plan here. But I forgot Signal Beam can cause confusion, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm on the timer now. Let me get this Body Slam in. And it does not kill. Fat Cat does go down. Highly unfortunate, but this thing is now weak enough to where I can just kill it with a Fake Out, which is good. So after that, it's still raining out here. Now we go into the Water Bug, which is not good for me, but I'm still going to go for that Aerial Ace, try to get as much damage as possible. It actually goes for the Toxic, which is nice. You think the thing would just kill me outright, but it doesn't. So, that's right, goes down. I'm down to 2 Pokemon. We were down to the wire, and I didn't want to do this, but I send out Grasscat. Now, Grasscat, the thing you need to know about Grasscat is deathly allergic to bugs. If there is a bug that crawls on Grasscat, it just dies. So, luckily, I'm fast, though. I can get that kill. He sends out the Scyther, and I'm like, well, I really don't want to take any type of bug attack. Let me just U-turn on out of here, go into Barkeep, and it actually went for the Aerial Ace, which was certainly a choice. Barkeep, I'm going to go for the Fake Outs, going to go for the Aerial Ace, and lucky for me, he actually went for the Swords Dance. So I'm like, nah, you're not sweeping me with a damn bug. I go for that Bullet Punch, immediately get rid of that Scizor, and now all we have left is this weak Low Kicks, which dies to a Bullet Punch, and that is that. I defeat Bugsy, And I go ahead, he says a bunch of nonsense here. I'm like, hey man, nobody cares. Go back to Johto. And he gives me the U-turn TM, which is very important move for my cats because pretty much almost everybody can learn it. Now I can go to Vermilion, get on the SSN, kick ass, take names, rob the entire ship of all items that are not bolted to the floor, and start my next rival fight against Brendan. Brendan here starts off with the Crawdon, and let me tell you guys something. This lobster hits like a truck, but as the famous Sun Tzu once said, don't get hit. So that's what I do. I go for the fake out, and I go for the bullet seed, and I get through that unscathed. That's right. Still the MVP kind of here, and kind of surprised the Persian's been useful for this long. He goes into Hariyama, gets a fake out. I flinch. I'm like, hey, what the heck, man? That's my thing. You turn on out of there, go into the Incineroar. He goes for the knockoff, which, not that big of a deal. I eat that pretty well, and I have the Intimidate off. So not too much damage on the Incineroar. I U-turn on out of there, go into Boogie and he goes for the Drain Punch, gets a little bit of health back, and still gets a burn. But this thing is now weak enough to where Extra Sensory is going to kill it, and I am in pretty good shape. I'm loving this. He decides to go into the Sceptile, and I'm like, do I switch here? Do I really want to attack this thing? I end up going for the Thunder Wave because I know Sceptile is fast as hell. He goes for the Swords Dance, and we are now in a pretty scary position where we might just get swept by a freaking grass lizard thing. I go back into the Incineroar, get Intimidate, kind of make this thing a little more easy to deal with. You already know, fake out U-turn, and surprisingly, that killed. I was not expecting that, but you know what? We take those. I go right back into the Persian just because, the fake out into U-turn or whatever strategy is pretty nice. That's kind of my bread and butter at this point in the game, and, I'm loving it. Get the free damage on the slacking, U-turn on out of there, and something I learned during this fight, if you can make them flinch during, the regular turn, they still have the Trance turn where they can't do anything. So that is pretty nifty information. I go into a Grass Cat here, and I just hit it with a bunch of low sweeps. I'm thinking, super effective, decrease this thing's speed, and that's probably going to help my other cats be able to actually take this thing out. And it takes a lot of low sweeps to get this thing down to where it can be killed, and I die in the process. But you know what? That's fine. I go back into That's Right, and you already know the fake out is going to take care of it. So still pretty minimal damage. He's got 2 Pokemon left. The Gardevoir is going to come out, and I'm like, hey, let me U-turn, get a critical hit. A lot of critical hits here. I go into Barkeep because this is specifically what this cat is for. To take care of fairies like this. Fake out, bullet punch, boom. This thing is gone. Now he's down to 1 Pokemon against my 5, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. I go for the U-turn. He goes for the Volt Switch, but he's got no team. All his friends are dead, but mine are not. I go into Bougie Cat here, go for the Extra Sensory. I know I can need a Volt Switch. Got pretty decent special defense here, and that is that. I talked to the captain, who's sick as hell. He ate some bad Crawdon earlier or something. He couldn't adapt, and he ends up giving me the Cut HM. At this point, it's time to go fight Lieutenant Surge, and this gym is filled with trash. Which is perfect, because that's exactly where I'm going to put Lieutenant Surge when I'm done fighting him. I beat all of his goons, solved the trash puzzle, and now I'm ready to send my cats into war against a military veteran. Surge here starts off with the Rotom, sends out, literally throws the whole fridge at me, and I'm like, okay, so automatically go with that, fake out. He goes for the Nasty Plot. He's thinking he's going to sweep me with the fridge. He's going to sweep these cats under the refrigerator. I'm like, nah, man, Iron Head, Bullet Punch, get that out of here. You are not going to be winning with the kitchen appliance today. He goes for the Ampharos and immediately Megas, and I U-turn out of there. I'm like, nope, this cat ain't sticking around for that. And I send out Sylveon, and this is exactly what Sylveon's for. Just here to fight dragon stuff and fighting Pokemon and just Drain Kiss, be annoying, heal up, and I do get that kill. I'm in pretty good shape. And now we have to fight the Hisuian Electrode, and I go into Wolfie VGC here, his favorite Pokemon, Incineroar, shoutouts to him. Get that Intimidate. He goes for the Explosion, and it does a good amount of damage, but I'm still in pretty decent shape. Not good enough to fight a Hitmonlee, though. I go for that Fake Out just to get a little bit of damage here, and I decide to hard switch. I know this thing's way faster. It's got the Unburden, and he is fast as hell. Goes for that Close Combat, Defenses Drop, knocks off my Pixie Plate, which means I do not get the kill on that Draining Kiss. Oh, it was so close. But I am able to, get off Draining Kiss, heal a good amount. I go for the skill swap, which still works out here because now I get the Surge Surfer from the Alolan Raichu. This dude has Pokemon from every region. Like I like to think he just traveled the world and, just stole Pokemon after everyone he defeated. If that's not canon, it is now. Anyways, I do get rid of that Raichu with my Persian. The U-turn surprisingly does a lot of damage there, and I was faster because I took away that Pokemon's speed, which was great. He goes into Palma, I go into Incineroar here, get the fake out, and I just get clapped because, again, pretty much everything I have is weak to fighting. I decide to go into the Grass Cat and go for a Seed Bomb because after the defense drop, it does kill. And now he goes back into Hitmonlee and he doesn't have Unburden, so he's slow as hell. Grass Cat is fast, and we take that. That is a win. We get our Thunder Badge, and we get the Volt Switch. We have all the freaking turn TMs, and that is it. Thank you for watching part 3.